Hey guys, this is a build order video. This is going to be a water build, a purely water build. Our previous build was a hybrid build order, so with water and land, but this one is going to be focusing on getting you 2 docks and as much military production going immediately on age up. We'll just go, well, I was going to do a ranked video today, but there was an update today, so I lost the matches that I had pre-recorded, so we're going to go ahead and do this build order. The big difference with this build order is really after during the age up process. The build order is the same at the beginning. You're going to send your con to the middle of the map, followed by setting up your TC, preferably next to gold if you can. And then from there, you're going to send 5 villagers onto wood and 1 villager to the middle following your con. Preferably send the one following your con first before you select your villagers and start chopping wood. And then from there, you're going to produce 4 villagers onto food, onto the 1 sheep that you have near your TC, and then a villager onto wood, and then 3 villagers onto gold. After those 3 villagers onto gold, you're going to put all your villagers onto wood until you hit about 20-ish villagers on wood. During the age up, you're going to pull your 4 villagers off of food, and you're going to build the silver tree. And then during the age up process, you're going to get the forestry upgrade. And while you're aging up, you're going to drop a second dock. After around your 8th, 9th fishing ship, you'll have enough resources to drop your second dock. And then after the age up, your villagers are going to split 2 villagers onto gold, 2 villagers onto wood. And you're going to trade 100 food and buy, you're going to sell 100 food and you're going to buy 100 wood. And then you either do that before you start queuing up your light chunks, so you can queue both immediately, or you can queue 1 light chunk immediately, trade real quick, and then queue the other light chunk. It's totally up to you. Either way, you'll be getting both of your junks up, basically beginning at the 5:30 mark and out on the water by 5:55, the 6-minute mark. And from there, it's totally up to you, kind of what you want. Oh, and after that, you should also have enough gold and food to be able to get the double bit axe upgrade pretty much immediately. So you're setting up your eco, and you're also getting 2 docks up, plenty of ships out, and so this is entirely a build to fight on water. After you get those 2 light chunks out, I would recommend getting another round of light chunks. But if your opponent has got springolds out, you will have enough gold to start saving up for explosive junks. You'll have enough gold production to produce only explosive junks. If he goes double springald, you can make 2 explosive junks. It's totally up to you how you react, but your eco will be set up and flexible enough that basically you can build any ship that you want. And if you're a little bit short on wood, you should be able to start selling some of your food off and buying some wood. So that's the build order and summarized. We're going to do it real quick so you guys can see how it plays. It is pretty, it can be pretty APM intensive, but once you get the practice down, it's not too bad. And then from there, we'll go over the video one more time, just recapping the replay. So here we go. We're going to start, and we're going to grab the con first and set up our TC, and then pull a villager to middle. Okay, there's our con. TC, send this vill here. Grab these guys over here. Grab our con onto 1. Pull this over here. Let's set this gur up here. I do like to set the gur up. Come over here. Let's get this set up right here. Not what I really prefer. I also started setting up my, just so you guys can see, I get my gur on a control group. This is comes in handy for later on. These villagers are going to finish this tree, and then I want them to come over to this tree. This is almost ready. Let's come over here. Let's come over here. Go back to our dock. Make sure we don't lose any time setting our dock off. Our dock is a little bit later than ideal. We had a little bit of idle time with our villager. We've finished our dock around 1 minute and 5 seconds. If you do it perfectly, you get the build perfect, you'll get your dock up around the 1 minute mark, and it's just a lot cleaner. Your age of timing is a lot more consistent with that. So now we have 4 villagers on a control group 3, which is our age up control group, and they're going to that's enough there. We're going to rally our villagers now on the wood, and make sure we have this villager queued as control group 2 just for now. It's kind of temporary. It's just kind of for the beginning control, because you have to control quite a bit of units at the same time. We have 6 on wood now. We're going to send 3 villagers onto food. So that's these 3 villagers queued are going to go onto food, and just keep queuing villagers or ships up in our dock. Approximately after the 8th ship, 9th ship, we're going to have enough wood to start building our dock without interrupting our dock production. So that's also pretty important. You don't want to stop your ship production until you have enough wood to build a dock without interrupting production, if that makes sense, which I'm not sure it does, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm getting at. Come over here. Okay, I said don't be careful about stopping production, and you stop production there, so do as I say, not as I do. Okay, we have 3 on gold, and we're going to start rallying onto wood now with the rest of our villagers. And keep rallying villagers over here on the ship. I don't like being so close to the point here. I like to drop my first dock more out here, but again, it's not end of the world if you do. Sometimes the map spawns a little funky and it's kind of hard to tell, so it just kind of is what it is. Again, just cycling through my hotkeys, making sure I'm comfortable with my hotkeys and understanding where I'm jumping to. Okay, we're getting ready to age up now. The docks here, again, we have 6, 7, there's our 8th ship, so we should be able to look to make a little bit late on that, that's okay. We should be able to look to make a dock after this ship. And it's a little bit close, we're a little bit risky here. We'll drop this here though, we'll go for it. Okay, and we'll start rallying ships onto there. These villagers we're going to put 2 onto wood, and then we're going to put 2 onto gold. Also, while you've got enough, make sure not to lose too much idle time on that dock. Columns over here, doing nothing. So that's pretty much split up. We kind of were a little bit late on the forestry there. If you do want to get that with a good timing, the sooner the better. Okay, there's another dock coming up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We queued our villager hotkeys here, just so we knew what we were doing. We're gonna have 12 villagers, or 12 ships in production. And that's kind of what I want, is around 12 ships in production. Okay, this is almost finished. We're gonna save this wood here. We're gonna immediately queue a light junk, and then we're going to sell stuff here. Sell food, buy wood, and we should be able to, yep, there we go, get another light chunk, and we've got double production queued up. We're going to move our silver tree over here, and that's pretty much the whole build. Don't forget to get your double bit upgrade like we just did, and that's the whole build basically right there. And you can see now we have enough. We built double light junks, another one's coming out, and we're going to have enough resources for another light junk here in just a second. that's the only, I guess there's a small lull here, but again, there's a window here where um, you can get another light junk, you can get an explosive junk. It's up to you. You know, after you get these first three, maybe your opponent's dropping immediately a Springwood ship. Maybe he's dropping more archer ships. So from there, it's just kind of up to you guys what you want to do. You don't have to keep this queued here as well if you don't want to anymore. You can send traders if you want, but I would recommend focusing on water first, since this build is specifically for that. You can get your piracy build. Getting piracy early can sometimes be beneficial. If you're sinking 4 ships, it's paid for itself. Okay, and you can see we're 100% here able to sustain this eco now. We can get an explosive ship because we got plenty of gold. We're floating food right now, so if you wanted to, you could always sell food, buy wood, and then drop a gur here for your wood line. I would also recommend doing something like that sooner rather than later. And yeah, this is pretty much the build here. That's you're just keeping your eco going, your fishing going, and you're getting a ton of military out before your opponent can really do much. You can get extended lines as well. Totally up to you if you want to or not. How long is the Springwood ship time? 30 seconds? Okay, so they're all about the same timing here. It's not a huge difference. You see we're floating a lot of gold there. We can get we can start getting our excuse me. Wheelbarrow upgrade. And so that's pretty much it for the build. It's kind of like from here, it's just pretty much like hopefully you've won water by this point, and then you can start transitioning. You got plenty of eco and gold. You can start rallying these guys, your villagers, your fishing ships over to here, and you can start producing military buildings. So that's pretty much the whole build here. We're gonna go ahead and end it, and we're going to review the build order one more time, just so you guys can kind of see what we're doing here. We'll look at it from our camera point of view, so it's going to be pretty much the same that we just saw. But I'll try to explain it a little bit better if I didn't explain it great the first time around. And yeah, this is this build is made to fight on water and to win water. So a map like Boulder Bay, Archipelago, Warring Islands, these are all really good maps that you can do this on. So, let's go caster mode. Our con goes immediately. Actually, we won't go caster mode. We'll lock up the camera. Our con goes immediately. Scouting around the middle. Lock up our vision. 5 villagers on the wood. This villager is being control group, sending out to build a dock. We're looking for a good spot to drop the dock. You want somewhere that you're not obscuring too much shoreline fish, or as long as you have a shoreline fish right next to you, you're okay as well. Make sure your con is still scouting, you don't leave him idle. Set up your gur by your gold if your gold isn't near your TC. The dream is if you get wood and gold right next to each other, because then you can save 100 wood on that second gur on your wood line. Dock's almost up. We're still maintaining movement here with our con. And immediately once the dock is up, we're queuing our fishing ship. So that's really important. We have 3 villagers on food. We'll go 1 more villager onto food. Still scouting around here with our con, giving him some shift queues here to fully reveal the fog of war as efficiently as possible. Little bit of idle time I think is going to happen here with our TC. Again, we have a control group on our 4 villagers here. On food, these are going to be our landmark villagers. Over here, we should have queued up here this fishing boat. We do. There we go. And then we should be queuing a villager here shortly. 4 on food, 1 on wood, for a total of 6 on wood. Now we're going to rally 3 villagers onto gold. Right now, we should get close. There we go. We should be dropping another fishing boat. Looks like we hadn't forgotten yet. I'm pretty sure later on in the build we do forget. It's just a practice thing. I wish if there was more water. As much as I dislike water, if there was more water maps in rotation, it'd be more, more. I'd have more practice with the water build, and then I wouldn't feel so, kind of rusty on it. Right now, our ship is about to finish. We'll see when our ship finishes here. We should be queuing another one. 245. 245. Okay, so about 4 seconds of idle time there. Not end of the world, but just something that can be avoided and isn't necessary. We have 3 villagers on to gold now. We're going to commit our villagers now all onto wood. I'm trying to pick up those trees kind of closer to the TC first. Okay, we have another ship queued up in our dock. We're starting to get good enough production of resources that we don't have to just constantly be keeping track of it. I mean, you do, but if you have more than one, you can almost have more than one ship queued, which helps out. It gives you a little bit of leniency. So there's the next ship. And then I think from here we will go caster mode. Because hopping around and showing you guys kind of what I'm doing is good, but I think this last part we can go just our standard. Three villagers on gold. We're aging up. The forestry upgrade we could get right now. So at 411 we could have gotten the forestry upgrade 410. Just for ease of math, we'll say 410. And we end up getting it. We do end up getting it, but just a bit late here. About 425, 427, so about 17 seconds late, which is yeah, it's a third of the time of its training, so it's not super important, but it does add up. The earlier you're getting those eco upgrades when you can, if they're in the build, the better. We're able to get this dock up and going after our 8th ship being produced. And there's going to be a little bit of idle time on one of our docks, but that's okay as long as one of them is always going constantly with a fishing boat. That's the key here. And we'll go ahead and queue up another fishing boat here. This is still tapping up. Villagers still rallying onto wood. Right now we've got 12 villagers on wood. It's not enough to keep double production going for a dock. I think you need around, I think raw without any upgrades you need 23 villagers to produce 2 light chunks constantly. With upgrades it's cut down to like 20. Like 20, yeah, 20-ish I believe. With wheelbarrow it's like 18. So the big thing here is we traded our resources. On age up we sold our 100 food, about 100 wood, and we have 2 junks in production. And that's gonna help you. I mean, this is AI obviously, and if they were playing against a normal player who's got a good build, a clean build, they're gonna have these ships out at the same time as you. But if they've got one dock, you're gonna be able to really dominate on water. If they've got 2 docks, you're going to be able to stay at, on par with them, which is just as important. We also get our we also immediately, pretty much on age up, you're going to get your double broadaxe at the same time. So now once you get your double broadaxe, you've built your first set of guys, ships. You got another set of ships out. We got a Springald ship out right now as well. Again, I would say the build is up to the first 2 set of light junks. Because from there, you're going to see what your opponent is making, what he makes. And according to that, your next round of ships, whether it be explosive junks, a war junk, or whatever, you're going to decide what you build from there. And it could totally vary. Piracy, again, might be worth it, might not be worth it, totally up to you, depending on the situation. If he's got a lot of fishing going on, if he's China, if he's HRE, these are civs that are going to do a really good job booming. They're going to have 2 docks out. They're going to have, 2-3 docks out. If it's Alice, they could have 2-3 docks out, to get cheaper docks. So that's something that's it's definitely possible, and you have to be aware of. So um, but this just gives you the best chance, I think, with this build to win water. If you really think your opponent's going to be fully committed on water and you're going to have a hard time raiding him, or you don't want to deal with the split micro, um, this build I think is definitely a little bit better in that sense. And by 7.5 minutes, you have enough production here with wood to be basically producing from these 2 docks non-stop, pretty much whatever ship you want to, especially now that I'm getting wheelbarrow. So that's the build here. Hopefully you guys can test it out on a water map, and if you want to just win water 100% or your best chance to win water, this build I think is going to give it to you your best shot to win water. Just be careful if you do go for this all water build after winning water. If your opponent doesn't immediately GG, which tends to happen but not always, if he doesn't immediately GG out, make sure you have your con over here checking out if your opponent's building 9 lumber camps. The AI is crazy in this game. 4, 6, 9, 10 lumber camps. So you see if your opponent's building 10 lumber camps, or if he's building military buildings, if he's starting to rally troops across. If he is, your docks will be safe because of your military ships. But this is actually pretty nice because the Uvu's right next to the land. But if it's not, you need to be starting to build your own military production. So the scouting is still always important on your opponent's base. They're not always going to dip out immediately like that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like the build. And if you have any comments, just let me know. And I'll see you on the next one.